Okay, good morning and welcome to breakfast at Wolferman's Bakery. I am so excited to launch a new monthly series with you where we talk all things breakfast. We're going to share some practical tips with you and some recipes. We're going to talk about the best meal of the day, breakfast, for the next half hour, because who the heck has an hour for breakfast? So I am your host. My name is Lucy Sommer. I'm the merchandise manager for the Wolferman's brand. And I am so excited to introduce you to our guests that we have this week. CeCe Olisa, will you tell us a little bit about yourself and something that excites you about breakfast?
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is CeCe Olisa. I'm a model and entrepreneur here in New York City. And I love breakfast because it's a space where I can have a little fun in the morning, and it's a time that's all for me. So my morning routine is very important to me, and I like to mix it up with different breakfast recipes sometimes.
I love that. Well, that's good because Toby is going to give us a recipe this morning. So Toby, will you introduce yourself?
Absolutely. My name is Toby Dixon. I've had the pleasure to work at Harry & David's for 23 years. I was the brand manager for Wolferman's for 5 years and had a really wonderful time developing product, working with English muffins, and now I'm in product innovation and design. So that's my story.
I love it. You are the breakfast expert. So Steve is the Wolferman's expert. Steve, will you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. Good morning, Lucy. Good morning, everybody. It's so exciting to be on our first Breakfast with Wolferman show, and I'm really proud and pleased to be here today. I am the 1-800-Flowers group president for the food group, and Wolferman's is one of the brands that were brought into me. And Wolferman's is so near and dear to my heart. I love the products. I love the smell and the aroma of breakfast when the muffins are toasting and when we can have our Eggs Benedict and all the other great products that we have in Wolferman's. It's a lot of fun. So I'm really excited to be here. Thanks so much.
Yeah, me too. Breakfast is a big thing in our house. It's like the only meal my husband knows how to cook. So we have it a lot. But Steve, tell us a little bit about the Wolferman's brand and a little bit about the history since you...
Yeah, absolutely, Lucy. My pleasure. So Wolferman's was actually started over 100 years ago in 1888. And when it was first launched, it wasn't a bakery, it was a corner grocery store. And they were developing products in their little grocery store when the founder, Fred Wolferman, came up with an idea to take a can of tuna fish, take the tuna fish out, clean the can, and then put the dough in to shape these muffins. And what made them so unique is that they were 2 inches thick. And he really came onto something. And to this day, they're still some of the best products you can have. That cinnamon raisin Wolferman's muffin with a little bit of the pear butter on it and a little jam. Oh gosh, it's so good for your heart. It is just delicious. They started in 1910 to turn into a bakery, and Fred Wolferman had that vision of this is going to be a new product category, and really excited and said people really need to have a good breakfast. So as he came through and invented the muffins and Wolferman started to grow, other baked goods have been added. We bake a lot of products to put into Wolferman's, and it's really become, the one-stop shopping for all your breakfast needs that really are indulgent, delicious, and good for your soul, so to speak. And we've really done a great job of expanding what you can have for breakfast. And certainly breakfast is such an important meal for all of us every day. So without any further ado, I would love to turn this over to CeCe and ask CeCe a question. CeCe, what do you like about breakfast, and what do you like about Wolferman's?
I think that I have fond memories in my hometown in California where I grew up. We had a big Fresno fair. Is anybody in the comments from Fresno? If you're from Fresno, hi.
Not from, but been there a lot.
So at the Big Fresno Fair, they always had the best cinnamon rolls. I have a lot of childhood memories associated with cinnamon rolls, so I can't wait to try the Wolferman's brand. I don't know if you all can see, but the Wolferman's team sent me a basket full of carbs, which, is one. And so this morning I took advantage and I tried a Wolferman's English muffin for the very first time. Oh my goodness.
Nice. What did you think, CeCe?
Once you try it, you can never go back, CeCe. So.
Oh, yeah. I was like, this is very dangerous. But I liked that on the little card it said that you could freeze them. So maybe, by the next time we have this show next month, maybe I'll still have some left. I'll put a couple in the
I doubt it. You're going to need to buy some more, CeCe. There's no way one sleeve is going to make it 2 episodes. Come on.
Steve, it's funny you mentioned the cinnamon raisin because I also pulled one out this morning and that's what I had for breakfast because I got a few sleeves. There are a few missing because I've already dug into them, but it is all about the way it smells when you put it in the toaster is just like amazing. I love it.
Great stuff.
Okay, so when I was making my breakfast this morning, I came up with a question I want to ask everyone. You can answer in the comments, but I want Steve to answer first and then Toby and Lucy if you have an answer, okay?
All right.
So if I make you the perfect breakfast sandwich, right? We've got our Wolferman's, we put it in the oven for the right 2 minutes at 350, comes out nice and soft. I butter it for you. I make you some nice creamy eggs, maybe a little cheese. The question, do you put jam or hot sauce? Which one?
Very good question. So CeCe, from my point of view, you put both on it. A little hot sauce and a little jam, and man, you are ready to go for the day. And if you're really hungry, you can even have some Nova Scotia lox, Eggs Benedict, which I think we're going to all get an opportunity to take a look at, but really exciting.
Yeah, that's funny.
Grace than I thought.
Toby, what about you? What would you pick?
Wow, I would lean towards hot sauce, but not too hot because I don't like really hot stuff. So I would like to be able to add ketchup. Is that possible? Can I add a little ketchup?
Toby, you're the chef, so whatever you say goes.
Yeah, you do whatever you want.
Actually, I never eat ketchup on eggs, so I'd probably stick with hot sauce.
Would you put a little hot sauce in the ketchup, Toby, to just get a little dip?
Oh my God. Okay, this is a little off topic, but I make the most killer cocktail sauce.
Oh, yummy. Well, we'll have to get some of that.
Yeah, so, maybe you could even do that on the muffin. A little cocktail sauce on the muffin with some shrimp. Crab.
Yummy. Oh, I'm ready. I'm coming over for breakfast.
Yeah. I pick hot sauce, but this is kind of weird. I use sriracha mayo on a lot of my breakfast stuff, like breakfast burritos and whatnot. It just goes really well with eggs for whatever reason. I know it sounds kind of weird, but it gets a little creaminess in with your hot sauce, your little spice,
Okay, so do you use the hot sauce also, Lucy, or is it just
No,
mayo?
if I had sriracha mayo, I'd just go sriracha mayo. Just mix it up together. You could do it however hot you want. You could go super hot or just keep it nice and creamy, but it's really good with eggs, surprisingly. It's kind of a fun discovery. So CeCe, you just moved into your new apartment. You're in New York, right? So what are some of your morning routines in your new place?
Yeah, I think moving into a new apartment at the beginning of spring is just like a nice feeling. It feels good to start over. It feels, like a new beginning. I think the time is just right for that. So I've been kind of revamping my morning routine. I think a lot of us have had a very intense year, to say the least. And so I'm trying to bring a lot more momentum into my life. So my 3 pillars for a morning routine are joyful movement, journaling, and creativity. So this morning, my creativity was making my Wolferman's breakfast for the first time.
Yeah.
And I put jam in mine. No one asked, but I put Wolferman strawberry jam on mine.
Good decision, good choice.
I'll try triple berry next time. So right now, journaling and joyful movement are like super important to me. I journal 3 pages a day in the morning, and it just helps me to kind of get my thoughts out. I think my morning is the only time of day that I can completely count on to be mine. I have yet to have someone ask me on a date at 5 in the morning, so I feel that time to kind of do my own thing. So I take advantage of it as much as I can.
I love that. I wish I was more of a morning person for sure, and took more time to like take, like you said, take some time to yourself and really, enjoy the morning. So okay, so you said you wrote 3 pages in your journal. So do you have like prompts? Do you just write like what you're doing that day? Like, how do you decide what to talk about?
That's a really
yourself, I guess.
So I actually do journaling prompts for some of my community. If you follow me on Instagram, I talk a lot about morning routines there. So for journaling prompts, I definitely kind of throw some out here and there. I sprinkle them when I can. And I like to go through books like The Artist's Way. Purpose Driven Life has a really good journal too. And sometimes I just do blank pages. I think sometimes it's fun to have different styles of journaling so you don't get bored.
Yeah.
Like I said, I talk a lot about that on my own stuff. Today I know we're here to talk about breakfast, so I won't go too far.
Yeah. No, that's good, because I always wish I was a journal writer. And a lot of the times I'm like, this is just boring. I'm just talking about my day of what happened. So I love taking maybe some creativity into what your morning routine is like and kick it off to a good start for sure. I love that. So you're doing some Eggs Benedict, right?
So I am doing some Eggs Benedict. I've got 4 different versions. Of course, the classic version. We all love the classic version, I think. And we've got Easter coming up. So what a great way to celebrate Easter by preparing Eggs Benedict with Wolferman's super thick English muffins. And I'm going to go through a couple different versions of this. Let me just jump over to our classic Eggs Benedict, Canadian bacon, the lovely poached egg, and hollandaise sauce. For those of you that get a little weary about poaching eggs or afraid of it, there's little egg poachers you could use. You can do them in the oven and bake them. I actually did these this morning, put them in a cold bath with ice to stop them cooking. And then I heat them up later, just in a little bit of warm water. So you could prepare that early. And then as you're preparing breakfast, you can just heat those up. So the egg.
I love that. You do the real deal. I've got a poaching pan, which I feel like is a little cop out because they come in perfect little circles, but they always cook so nicely and it's so much less stress. But props to you.
It is.
Eggs Benedict is a really big tradition of my family's for Christmas morning, although I don't know why we're not doing it for Easter, so I might be doing that this year. But growing up, we always had a friend who wanted a plate of our Eggs Benedict Christmas morning, and she insisted, of course, that it was fresh. And so all of us kids were in the kitchen. We'd always make it together. We all had like our separate jobs. One person did the muffins, one person did the eggs. And so every morning, Kay Bragg got a fresh plate. She always got the first one, which I was always like, this is not fair. How does she get the first Christmas Eggs Benedict plate? But we'd all hop in the car and we'd drive over and we'd give her a plate and then we'd all run back and hurry up and put ours all together after, because everything was pretty much ready to go. We'd all hustle and put it together and then enjoy our Christmas breakfast. But
what a great story, Lucy.
It was awesome. But even now to this day, she's like, where's my Christmas morning breakfast? Family, come on. So it takes a lot of work. So props to you, Toby, for getting all this prepared.
Absolutely.
So what else?
What comes next? I'm very vested in this breakfast you're making. So what happens next?
Oh, okay. So let's just talk about the other flavor profile that I did here. So we've got our 1910 English muffins, and I took some artichokes, basically a can of artichokes that are water-based, drain that off, chop them up, mixed a little bit of hollandaise in there, and then I set that on top of the English muffin, a couple strips of bacon, the poached egg, and then of course the hollandaise sauce, which is quite lovely even, with the artichokes. I think of artichokes, I also think hollandaise. So it's just a really nice pairing, I think. This plate here. And then another version, asparagus. So I grilled some asparagus in a skillet, and I added a little bit of garlic, a little bit of sea salt, a little bit of rosemary, and then placed that on top of the English muffin, added hollandaise sauce to it, and garnished it with rosemary. So it's really a beautiful presentation, I think. And then Steve, let's get your favorite Eggs Benedict place. So
Oh gosh, Toby, we're gonna have to come over and have breakfast, because once you make these, it's way too irresistible to eat them.
I can smell the hollandaise now.
Exactly.
So I sliced some red onions really thinly because traditionally, lox bagels and cream cheese has some red onion with it. And I'm just gonna put these on the bottom of the plate and then place the muffins on top. And then we've got some Nova salmon here that I'm gonna place on top of the muffins. And then our little poached eggs that have just had a little bath. And
All right, Toby, what's your hollandaise sauce trick? Do you have one?
I do, well, the trick to like hollandaise is to drizzle the butter in very slowly. You melt the butter, the eggs, you beat up, you add some lemon juice to that, you get a little bit frothy and kind of doubled up in bulk there, and then you start drizzling butter in. So thank goodness my son was here today, because as much as I was whisking, I'm like, hey, McKay, can you come in here and drizzle butter? So he's like holding the pitcher, and I'm like, no, too fast. So it was a family affair,
I love it.
Helped out. It was wonderful.
That, and sounds like some patience, maybe.
The other thing is just keeping it slightly warm until you're ready to use it is the best way to go. And if it thickens up too much, you put a little drop of water in, drop or two of water, and then it'll loosen it up again. If it separates, usually water will bring it back when you're whisking. The other option is to take another egg yolk and whisk it in, and that usually will bring it back together.
That's awesome. Yeah, my sister was always, Sydney was always the resuscitator when it went too far. It was, Sydney, come fix it, come add water. And she'd just fix it like nothing had happened. But she was the only one that could do it for whatever reason.
That's great.
On holidays.
Yeah, it's tricky. Okay, what else are you putting on this? I'm excited to see.
Now I have some traditional capers that I'm just gonna spread on top of there. So you've got this nice base of thinly sliced red onion. And it's kind of a spin-off of lox bagels and cream cheese. But we've got an egg and hollandaise on English muffins.
I love it. Add hollandaise to everything. Well, I might have to get a little more creative with my Eggs Benedict for Easter brunch this year, and maybe mix it up a little. Maybe do some lox or asparagus. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I really like the asparagus spin. Plus, I just love how it looks. I love the long spears sitting on there. It's beautiful.
I think of asparagus and holidays mostly with like steak dinner. I don't associate it with breakfast, so I feel like that could be a fun thing. Yay! Well, it's been so fun to chat with you guys this morning. I appreciate you all being here. CeCe, thanks for sharing your morning routine, and Steve for giving us a little background on Wolferman's. I'm excited to see where this goes and what you guys all make for Easter brunch. CeCe,
Well,
I'm curious to see what new Wolferman's things, your recipes you're going to come up with in your basket.
Yeah, that's great. Lucy, thank you so much for hosting our first breakfast at Wolferman's. What a tremendous experience it's been. Thanks so much.
Yes, I'm happy to do it. We will see everybody next month. Thanks so much.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.